If you thought I was a dickhead for 3D printing a gun, now I'm going to 3D print knives and test them to see how effective they are. Stay tuned. Warning, don't be stupid and try this at home. I'm a trained asshole. Also, if you're under the age of do not watch this video. There, piss off, Trudy. Go be a parent instead of bitching at me.
Are you allowed to say that?
Nah, I sure hope so. Now, like I said, I'm going to be 3D printing 2 knives. Well, really they're letter openers, according to the STL file, but we'll get around that. As you can see, they're not exactly big, probably 3, maybe 4 inches total. And the reason I picked this file to test is because, as you can see, it does not have a reverse end on the blade. It's absolutely flat on the bottom. The reason I did that is so no overhang, which means no support, which means that won't, the residual support won't, add to the cutting ability of either knife. This is going to be purely the printed, and I'll probably kind of, clean up the edge a little bit, because with that thin of an edge, there's going to be a failure at some point, and I'll just try and get rid of that before we test. Gonna print at these settings. Whoop. Get that off there. Gonna print at these settings. Yeah, we'll go with that. And we'll see what happens. For the PLA, like it actually says on here, the PLA has a prime printing temperature, according to the manufacturer, of 210, and the ABS has 230. So I'm going to make the G code, and then for the PLA print, I'll just back it off to 210, and that's how we'll do this. Full disclosure, that's what I'm doing. Next time you hear my voice, I'll be kind of explaining the testing. So here are the 2 knives. The sky blue ABS knife. ABS 1.5mm sky blue color, and the PLA in just the standard kind of PLA blue. I'll try and get some. There we go. There's that blade, there's that blade. They're the same part with the same G code run off the same printer back to back. Both of them came off of good old Maker Farm. Both had the assisted cooling, that's why this one kind of warped just a little bit, but that's not too big of an issue. The test we're going to be doing is we are first going to see how well they both cut this sandpaper. Then we're going to take a couple slices into the cardboard. We're going to see how well it'll snap this. This is just basically an edge test. This is a PLA, by the way. It's actually the same brand PLA that this one is. This is the black that I've been using for the last couple of videos. It's a spare piece. We're going to see how well it can carve into a cork tile, and then if it survives all of those 4, we're going to try and cut into a coaxial cable with the, rubber housing and everything. If it survives all that, I have one more test that I want to try. I don't know if it'll actually make it into the video, but let's get on with the testing. Back to back, PLA closer, PLA at the bottom of the screen, ABS at the top of the screen, and I'm simply just going to take the knife, try a cut, put it back, take the other knife, try a cut, and put it back. They do not cross. The deeper blue, I guess you would say, is the PLA, and the more satin navy, I guess, is the ABS. First, we're going to do good old-fashioned, forget what this is. I think this is the 100 grit sandpaper. Oh my god. Do this. Seems to cut just fine. ABS down, PLA up. Also seems to cut just fine. Both edges have held up. Even so far. Now cardboard. Once again, we'll do PLA first. The blade is flexing quite a bit. It does not want to bite into this at all. Let's say that's just going to be about it. And the blade actually folded over. See how PLA stands up. Alright, PLA is doing way better. And actually is a little bit of stringing off the end of this. And it does not appear that it lost any in the cardboard, so guessing PLA won that one. Now this one is going to be kind of an odd test. As you can see, this is flexible. It's not just a hard roll. I can twist it up pretty far for PLA. What we're going to do is we're just going to take the blade, we're going to put it into the crook of it, and we're just going to pull the other direction until it snaps. Not really sure what this proves, but this is what I do for knives. So here is the first one. Try on a part that hasn't been busted. Let's try cutting it. So it did separate it a little bit. How much of that's the bend and how much of that was the knife, I don't really know. Let's try the good old PLA. Let's try and get the same amount of... There we go. I actually can't get a good hold of it. There we go. Same thing, as you can see. Actually, this one didn't even bite in as far as the... Yeah, it just keeps breaking. I'd have to say the ABS worked better for that one. ABS is still here, PLA is still here. Cork tile. Probably going to be pretty similar to the cardboard, except this is going to be a little bit more rubbery, so it won't be as easy to kind of like separate. Go with the best edge. That one look okay? Well, we did get some. Probably, it's about that much of the blade. Let's go ahead and try PLA. Guys, PLA is kicking ass on this, actually. Might have been a weak spot. Let me try a different one. Definitely held its edge better. As you can see, this one pretty much filed itself down, trying to cut through. This one held its edge a lot better. So, there's the ABS cut. Here are the PLA cuts. As you can see, it chopped in a lot more. I'll try ABS one more time, because that seems kind of odd. Do a corner again. So it didn't really cut, it just kind of pushed it apart. I'm going to give this one to the... Whoop, going to give this one to the PLA. And even though PLA is the overall winner so far, if I'm right, the results were they tied the first one, second one was PLA, next one was ABS, and then PLA again. So PLA's winning right now. Let's go ahead, try and cut into the rubber coating on this coax cable. PLA once again. Ooh, that actually bit in pretty quick. Actually, that went all the way through the rubber coating, and that's into the metal. That's interesting. I'll get a close-up picture of these later. Remember that the ABS is farther up the stem, and then the PLA is probably going to be right about here. Sure bites a lot harder. I'm starting to see it fray. Yeah. So it started to fray a little bit and started losing some layers. And now, as you can see, both edges. ABS actually seems like it's sharpening itself the more that you go. PLA seems to be dulling a bit, but it's getting some barbs on it, which helps it slice through things. As you can see, here's the ABS cut. That's the PLA cut. They're pretty similar, but I think I'll actually give this one to ABS because it actually separated 2 or 3 of the metal strands in here. So right now we're tied, which means one last test. PLA, ABS. Chop test. This is some unknown plastic. Actually, give me a second. Huh. This is a PET compound, which is either I'm reading that wrong or that's really messed up. PET is usually like food grade plastic. But chop test. Remember, these are printed with the same settings. It just kind of snapped off. Actually, it bent out in a couple places. So that's the ABS. Let's try PLA. Here quick. You can see it actually did put some notches in. I don't know how well you can see that. They're not very impressive, but they are something. So I'll try and hit over here. It's like seriously taking chunks out of this thing and it's not breaking. Well, I guess PLA wins because I won this a lot harder than the ABS one, and this did not break. Remember, guys, this is the same G code, which is the printing format. It's literally the same layers. It's the same infill. The only difference is the temperature. This was at 210, which is what's recommended for the filament by the manufacturer, and the ABS was at 230, which is what was recommended from the manufacturer, and it's the same manufacturer. One's the ABS and one's the PLA. PLA 1. This is what I have left of the ABS blade. It snapped the blade from the body, and those two go like that. And then actually the rest of the body is still sitting in the back room where I tested it, because as I was swinging and I'd keep my finger on it, I actually tore it in half, and I didn't even realize it because I was still holding it in my hand. Can't tell you why. ABS is supposed to be more impact resistant than PLA. I can tell you why the PLA cut better, and that's because it's a lot more, how do you say, it's not denser. So, what's that other D word? Durable. That's it. When PLA gets stressed, it'll just stress, snap. So, when little parts of this edge would come off, they would just break off, and then the rest would stay intact. The ABS, however, folds. It's a lot more flexible, you would say. So instead of just snapping those little pieces off, those little pieces warp and grow and warp until they fold over, which is what happened when I was cutting the cardboard. If you're going to make a knife, I suggest PLA or metal. Everyone's on this big 3D printed weapons kick. Just fucking use metal. Do more damage with this toothbrush than with that knife. Don't ask why I have a toothbrush in here. I was brushing my teeth. Honestly. But, like, honestly, this fork that I just used to eat my lunch, like, 20 minutes ago, would do more damage than this knife. And honestly, when you think of all the things that have to go into making this knife, that fucking fork is way easier to get a hold of. It'll do a lot more damage. It'll hold up better. So, hope you liked the video. If you did like it, then like it. It's a little button. It's right down... Oh, other way. Right down there. If you disliked it, and you hate me, and children, and puppies, click dislike. Honestly, if you disliked the video and you made it this far, then tell me. Tell me what you disliked. Go in the comments, tell me what you disliked, or what you liked, or what I did wrong, or whatever. And, once again, please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. The subscribers I have are great. They often add input and, tell me what if I did a good job, tell me what I did wrong. It's always constructive, which is weird because usually there's a troll somewhere in that group. But I'd like more subscribers. Put a lot of time into these fucking videos. Put a lot of time into editing these videos. Way more than I ever thought I would. So, subscribe. Maybe I'll make something else you like. Maybe you just want to subscribe so you can call me fat in the comments. I don't really care. Just subscribe or don't. Have a nice day.